We're gonna get started tonight, folks, and welcome to the December 5th, 2023 Osterville Village Association Meetings. Let's start with the secretary report. Ron is not here tonight. All our directors had a chance to look at the minutes from last meeting and any additions or subtractions from the edits. Seeing none, those in favor of accepting the minutes for the November meeting. So moved. Is that a second? Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Treasurer's report, Al.
Okay, for the people from the public here, just so that we have three bank accounts here for the Village Association. Our normal checking account is $5,776.41 in it. And just paid out a slew of bills for the Christmas stroll.
Those should come out of the Bob Smith Fund.
Those
should
Yes.
come out.
Yes, yeah, they do. And if and I transferred the money over today. And the second one, we have a Robert Smith Fund, like where all of the expenses for all the gifts that we give, and the big events come out of the Robert Smith Fund. We have $18,380 there. And then we have a little savings account. For the first time in 10 years, we can actually earn some interest on this thing. So we've got $2,753. It's earning about 5.3% interest at Vanguard. Might not sound alike, but after 15 years of 0% interest, it's something. So all told, it's about 26,000 between all the accounts. But now's the time, like when we start making plans on gifts, to return some of the money to the town.
Okay, thanks, Al. Any questions for Al? Seeing none, all in favor of accepting the treasurer's report, Al McKay, December 5th, 2023, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Bruce Williams has sent out the Christmas charities letters for the OVA appeal for 2023. Returns are just starting to come in. Right, as of today, we had $1,380 donated this year. We will present the checks to the Cape Cod Times Needy Fund and the Salvation Army on Wednesday, December 13th at 2 p.m. at Rockland Trust. Plans are finalized for our 54th annual Osterville Open House and Stroll to be held this Friday, December 8th. More events will be held on Saturday, December 9th. Copy of the flyer is attached. We are asking approval of and thank the OVA for contributing to the music and events of these days. Due to not having a vote at our October and November OVA directors meetings, we are requesting a positive vote to sponsor some of the events of the stroll weekend as has been done in previous years. We would like a vote to pay $2,045.87 towards these expenses. The town DPW has put up the lights in the two large trees in the village center. We are again going to have a decorated golf cart parade at 5:30 on Friday evening. They will escort Santa in the COMM fire engine to Sotheby's Real Estate, where he will greet the children during the evening. The ecumenical creche service will be held on the steps of the Baptist Church at 6 p.m. We wish everyone a very Merry Christmas and don't forget to talk local. Thank you. And if we could have a vote on that amount that technically, because the last two meetings, I have the checks, but I need the approval. Al needs the approval, but $2,045.87.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Okay, seeing none, all in favor of the disbursement to the OBPA for the Christmas stroll and other activities, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Al. I know Al feels better having you.
Yes. Follow the book.
Okay, this is the town council report. Well, I was sworn in on November 20th as town councilor. The first meeting of the new council is going to be this Thursday at 7 p.m. at the Crockett Meeting Hall. And I want to note that on one of the last items on the nomination of the director or the officers for vice president and president. That'll happen on Thursday. Don't know if the vote's going to happen that day, but it may do so. many of new candidates like myself ran on responsiveness and transparency towards their constituents in the town. And that's one thing I ran on and try to implement that as we go forward. Appreciate all your help with that. One thing I'd like to talk about is the playground committee. I asked the town to postpone that today. Because I believe that we probably should have a couple more new members on the committee. And that would be people who are butters, and also put the names out, or put it out that if anybody's interested in being on the playground committee that we've been working on for, I don't know, 15 years now, at the Bay School, put their names in. And then we can maybe constitute a few more members. I think that would be important. It goes with the transparency thing. I think this was put together without having the OVA involved, which is fine, but I think a lot of our members have been involved in this for a lot of years, so I'm thinking that if there's some people that we know that might want to be on this committee that are concerned about it, or would like to be, have a say in it, let me know in the next few days or next week or so before the holidays, and we'll see about doing that. And so we're gonna reschedule that meeting for January and move on from there. And it's gonna be moving on forward, hopefully at pace now, because we've had this for years and we should start getting it done. I think I will keep this and everybody else.
Yeah, we received a notice that it was gonna be 13th. Is that
Yeah,
the one we do?
definitely.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that weekend. I'd like to make sure we get a part of it as possible. Just to make sure that we have their input. Which I think is important by the next one. Okay, let's see what else. My weekly office hours are gonna be Tuesdays from 1 to 2:30 here at the library, every Tuesday moving forward. So if anybody wants to come see me and has something to say, please come out. I'm also going to set up a regular newsletter that will talk about things that are happening in town and the village, and try to keep you informed about what's coming up as far as town council agendas and that kind of thing, and what's on the docket. So, anyway, next item is what I brought forward is a leadership discussion. I've been president now for 10 years of this organization, and being a town councilor now, I think could cause some issues as for moving forward together. And I think we should have an open discussion about what the board thinks about succession at this point. And because I think it's going to be a good thing to do. I'll still be on the board as a director, but I think the board needs to decide which direction they want to go as far as leadership. So I'll open the floor to anybody who would like to have any comments or any suggestions. That's how we move forward with both the presidency and the vice presidency. Or just the president.
Have you spoken with anybody?
I haven't spoken with anybody. This is something that doesn't have to be done right tonight, but I'd like people to start thinking about it. Diane brought up a thing about last year when I was for town council, and I thought about it. I thought she was correct that me being in charge of this and also on the town council might cause some confusion, and it'd probably be better that I pass that courage to another person and move forward from there. Did you make a group call at all? I haven't thought of a group yet. We wasn't able to meet come to the city. So
Would we need to add one more person to the board here?
that'll be something that my position comes open. Okay, so therefore, and I move to the town council's position, so one person to be open. Okay, and so we'll be taking the nominations committee, we'll be meeting in January. I'm talking to Mark Curley about applications we have for new members and do it that direction. We only have one open spot now, so we'll work on that in the next soon. We don't have to fill something right away, but we have people who've been aligned and that kind of stuff. So I think it's best to go through the nominations control and do that. Open the floor, Hector.
So, John, I think it'd be wise if you were no longer president. I think could create the perception of a conflict of some sort. It could certainly create questions in people's minds about divided loyalties. So, and then I think one of the burdens that this town has is that there are a bunch of factions, and each precinct is a faction. And I think in your role as town councilor, I think you want to adopt, yes, you're representing precinct 5, but you want to adopt interest in the town as a whole and adopting policies that supports the town as a whole. Whereas the Osterville Village Association is very focused on village matters, so it just strikes me, it's prudent for somebody else to be president.
Well, that's why I brought up, I think so too.
Yeah.
And, I like the decision made by this board, without my input at that point.
Yeah.
And, to move forward. I don't know, tonight to do it, we can, Heather, can you say
I think
something?
that was very well said. I agree with that for all kinds of sort of institutional reasons coming and going. Pete, as you're currently vice, that might be. Consider you would accept being considered as president. That's something to talk about. I don't know that we need to make that decision tonight. We could just have a discussion and go next time or whatever people feel appropriate.
Yeah, kind of like to open up to other members too, so it could be automatic as far as, I would consider that, but I think we should talk about it a little bit. Other people are interested.
I'd like to see this go also, at least if not president, vice president. He's very well spoken and good representative.
Agree.
Well, I would like, whatever you, let speak, if you want to speak.
Well, with that,
No,
maybe that's appropriate then to just defer this decision until the next meeting when Bruce can be here, and maybe we can put out notice that there'll be action on that.
nominations for leadership at our next, not for leadership, but for the presidency of the next, village association meeting. Right now, that's for, January 2nd. I know that's right up against the first, so is that an issue with people?
Would it be better to do it now before you actually have town council? I mean, what do people feel
Well,
about that?
I was also just thinking as you're talking, could we designate Pete acting president now?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
defer a more fulsome conversation until you have a full board with notice for action and, Bruce and others can be here.
What's our normal procedure, John? I don't even know. Looking at the bylaws, isn't there a procedure for the selection of president, vice president? And so maybe we really need to look at that, John.
Yeah.
Accept John's resignation, basically, as president, and then look at what our rules say in terms of how we go about our nomination for leadership.
Yeah, we just redid those, correct?
We did, and I don't have my copy with me.
So I now carry the bylaws.
Why don't I hand this over to one of our lawyers to look at, whatever you want to try it, and, like I
And
said,
I would
I'm
say,
gonna,
if it
I'm
doesn't,
gonna back off this conversation, so
Yeah.
let the rest of the board.
if it doesn't preclude, the appointment of an interim or something president, it seems like that would be sensible, so as you swear in or as you sworn in for the next month or so, you could be in charge of setting the next agenda, just to create that separation in the nearer term. If you want to just give me a
I
second.
suppose you could resign tonight,
That's what I
and
think,
then Peter wouldn't have to be promoted, he would just be, to be serving in your absence. From the absence.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
This is why we have the lawyers.
That's what it was.
You can do this with lawyers.
Didn't we go through this discussion a couple of meetings ago, by trying to find a president? So,
Yes.
I'm reading slow. I'm gonna give it to Chuck. I had 6 Zooms today and I have no thought process in my head.
To enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan with additional benefits. Medicare is encouraged to call the licensed insurance agent who will look at the plan and see if there are any changes to your.
I think the best solution is, it says that the vice president shall act as president in the president's absence. So, I mean, you're not gonna be physically absent. And have such other powers and duties as the president or board may designate. So, we could, I suppose, you could do it one of two ways. What I suggested, you could just resign, and then Peter acts in your stead as vice president, or we could, we could empower Peter, or we could instruct him to act as president until we have an election or whatever it's gonna be at the next meeting in January. So I think either way,
Either way, I'm not the acting as president,
Yeah.
so I will resign
Yeah,
officially right now at the president of the Osterville Village Association.
right,
And then we can move forward from there.
right.
I agree.
Because you're resigning as president, but you're still a member of the board of
Right,
directors,
right.
being as
He's
town
been-
council.
You've been sworn in, so you're a member of this board. As in a town council seat.
Yeah, I agree. I think if there's a conflict, it can be determined as a conflict in some respects.
Right.
I like to avoid it on that. No, I'm not gonna do that.
So just for clarity. John has resigned effective today
Right.
and Peter will, sort of assume the duties of the president by operation of the bylaws
Right,
until further action is taken by the board.
correct. His official title is still vice president, but he's assuming the duties of the president.
Why can't we nominate him right now as president? I mean, it's in that's the way we elect our president, it's just by our board, it's not a public notice or anything.
But all the members.
Yeah, I do that.
So I'd like to get input from other members.
Fun?
I'd like to get input from other members, like who's called.
Oh,
Live, and I know he's not here, he said he was gonna be here, just to be fair.
Then we need to elect a
Board
vice
members are
president.
not here.
yeah,
If
then
we elect Peter, we have to elect a vice president.
How many board members are not here tonight?
We have 9 here tonight. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 10. Bill. Hi, Bill.
Good evening, everyone.
That's Corin. Dick Coleman. Dick is not
How many
here.
are there?
He's down for
How many are there in total?
17.
17?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a sizable.
Yeah.
Group that you'd like to get input from.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea.
We can make an announcement over to our membership, there will be nominations for officers, for president coming up in January. So we give the public or membership a little bit of time to understand it, and also other members of our board at the same time.
Right.
May I ask a question? If you tell the membership there will be nominations, should you say, would you elect the persons that evening as well? So I guess what I'm asking is, inform the membership there will be nominations and elections for president and vice president at the January 2nd meeting.
Yeah.
Be
We've done that.
comprehensive.
That's what happens at our September.
Yeah.
Annually at our September.
Right.
Well, let's talk about that. It's the second problem for a lot of people. Okay, so maybe we should, the next following Tuesday.
Right.
I think
It's right, the city's here somewhere. The second would be the 9th of January.
I won't be available that night, but that shouldn't stop you. I'm just letting you know.
To give people a little bit extra notice of that date, maybe, instead of putting out an agenda, the week before, we could, distribute an agenda soon, so people have notice to clear calendars if they're interested or have conversations or what have you.
so you can change the meeting to the 9th? Is that-
He's in charge.
Yeah, yes. Everyone in agreement on that?
Yeah, no, that's fine.
I'm okay with it, as long as the city's okay, then check with her, she's out there. I want to go, I'll put that on there because there's a lot of discussion about traffic in the campaign, and Mark brought it up, Curly brought up, one of those things. that maybe we should, I was thinking that maybe we should make some kind of a, maybe a committee to study some of the things that people might want to have brought forward through the town department, blah, blah, blah.
I don't know if there's any public input on the traffic issues in town. Rather than speeding and taking your life in your hands as you go across that house. Really,
Pretty bad.
We come up a lot.
where's that now, John, as far as like what's with the DPW?
But we haven't, nothing's been done with the, so, now in the position I'm in, I will take whatever the village association is interested in doing.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of talk, some of the people weren't here tonight, about, maybe mitigation issues like speed bumps and traffic signs and that kind of stuff, not just speeding.
Raised crosswalks.
Raised crosswalk and that kind of thing. So, and also sidewalks down East Bay, we talked about that.
Yeah.
You're looking for at least a brief committee on that to raise issues or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know how much you like Paul did as far as that goes. I know there's a lot of talk about, but nothing concrete done.
Yeah.
You're gonna do a committee tonight or tomorrow?
We'll put it on the bus, couple brought about how we can do something, and I think we should start being proactive about that. And then we can talk to the town.
I would just, I know there's a movement to, put a lot more, traffic lights in Hyannis Village. I would hate to see that for Osterville Village. When the, tabletop crosswalks, there are other traffic mitigation, approaches, which is something I had to deal with when I was working at one of our universities. It was a major road running right through campus. So I'd love to, talk with anyone who's interested in doing that. I don't have nothing going on right now.
I know they did something.
So you're speaking against
Traffic lights, yeah,
in us.
I think so. I think speaking of the character of the village, I'd hate to see traffic lights.
But can somebody sum up what are the traffic issues? I know, John, when we were out campaigning, we heard from a couple people. Is it the notion that people speed through town?
Well, I think coming from the north, right at the flagpole in front of the old country store, that is a very, if people go down Parker Road, do that very fast speed. We've got the traffic sign now in front of Rush Junior's house, Jacob 35 Parker. That actually has a sign, but I think, I always thought maybe a stop sign there or some kind of, those long speed bumps. I'm not talking about the high ones, because everybody's car, but the long ones coming through the village somehow. And also before you get it from the Centerville cut, will slow people down in respect. That's just one of the things I have. I thought maybe a stop sign there, or maybe a stop sign, four-way stop at Willie's.
Yes,
Yeah.
I think that's a really bad.
That's the worst place.
That is.
That might help.
Four-way stops, I would rather see those than traffic lights, that's for sure.
Everything.
Coming out of, coming around that road over this, you coming out of Parker, coming onto Main Street, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Nobody stops.
So you, son.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a major issue.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I think people think it's a rotary and it's not,
No.
That's
no.
right.
Yeah.
that's part of the
And
problem.
nobody knows, and nobody stops either, they just keep on coming.
I know in Osterville Village, they did kind of raise crosswalks.
Yeah.
One of them is too high, they have to keep that up, but the other, I think the other two are great, good work and forth with this.
And they're attractive too.
Yeah, and they
Yeah, the
understand.
one at the church is gigantic, we're right in front of this family church there.
But they work,
Yeah.
it's an option.
And Pete, maybe in a newsletter before, early on, could just insert sort of a call for input about traffic issues, because there could be people who don't normally come here who have strong views about it or experience. It could add to consideration of that.
I agree. We did the next meeting, that's for the line. on the agenda is public comment.
I had a question about the playground committee.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Is there anyone on it now who has over seen the building of playground before, has some professional experience? We have so much talent in our town. They don't need necessarily living in Osterville, but that's something you could add when you're saying, like, ask around if anyone wants to join the group. Perhaps there's someone in our town that has done this, or perhaps also there's someone that helped with the building of Moose Love Playground, you know, fun. Like, maybe they were on that committee, and we could add some value here. Just a thought, that's a great playground.
Yeah, I received a list of those people that are on there. We have like 5 or 6 people from the town, different departments. They've actually done it, and a new consultant that has actually done a lot of this.
Oh, great, okay.
So we have probably, I want to say 10, 11 people, Jen, you're on that.
Yeah, I think there are probably 10 people there, many of whom have worked on these playgrounds and have rehabbed a number of the Barnstable playgrounds. And I know I'm looking at Diana because we're playground committee central here. So we've worked on other playgrounds and worked with a great consultant who has since passed away. And I think we're in very good hands with the town going forward. And I love the idea of just opening up to get more people who are interested involved. That's always a good thing.
You had I'm sorry, can I just?
Sure.
You had mentioned a Butters, which is a great idea. I don't know his name, somebody who lives near you, Diane, came from the town I used to live in, and he was like a professional in recreation. He's retired, I don't even know his name, I just happen to know that. So I don't know his name, but I know where he lives, so I could go knock on his door if you wanted sort of a professional recreation.
When you say professional recreation, doing tennis?
No,
tennis?
he did like recreate, he like majored in like sports and recreation,
Okay.
and so I just had a conversation with him randomly one day, but he could be somebody that has some kind of academic training and, you know, just knowledge about bringing those kind of things along.
Okay.
And I'll put a plug in for the original playground committee that I think we've learned so much in the years of working on this playground committee in just the equipment, the materials, we could do a whole expose on playground safety and requirements and that kind of thing. So I really do think we're in good hands in playground fun.
I'm looking for the list of people who are on it, but of course, when I'm looking, I can't find it.
Is it Crocker, is Crocker Park, is that the name, is that the park? Crocker?
Crawford Park,
Which was a picture of what it's supposed to look like. Is that what it's supposed to look like, or is that just a dream?
that is a rendering of a playground. The entire thing, entire piece of property, we worked on in the village association since 2008 or 10, where different pieces are gonna go. We worked with the town recreation division people and the town architect. Okay, so that's all been mainly decided about where the pieces are going. What we have left to do is that the recreation center is gonna come down at some point. I just heard from the town architect that the company that bid on that is not going to do that project, so they put it out for rebid. Hopefully that'll be real fairly soon, do that, and I think the company that backed out will have to pay a some price for what the cost will be if there's an increase in cost to do that. So they're getting on that now. We have public bathrooms that are going to go near that building. Not gonna be large, they're gonna be monitored and electronic. And then we have the playground that will go between the tennis courts and the Verizon building right there. And also farther towards Scudder Road back in there.
Where it is,
So-
where the playground is.
Yeah, we had many meeting about that and we decided what the town wanted, what we wanted. So except for a building that we were thinking about every time, it's not gonna be done. That's what we've got left. So
Will it be a splash pad?
we talked about splash park. I think there were some problems with that and cost and maintenance.
Because I know the woman, Mrs. Crocker,
Yeah,
is
yeah,
pushing for that, she really,
Yeah.
yeah, she's mentioned that several times. and-
yeah, and I think we decided against that for both for septic reasons, economic reasons, and like other things. But they make playgrounds these days, and the general tell you that are pretty spectacular. And no kid gets scraped knee, you know, nobody gets hurt and that kind of stuff. And so anyway, I'm really interested in fast tracking this up. We've been talking about it for so long. I know Diane and so this is gonna be, I'm gonna push this harder. We can't get this finished. Okay.
I do have a rendering of that, the final product that I could get to you. We all have folders and folders of
Okay,
concept from day one of that, but I will get. Well, this one.
thank you.
Again,
Thanks. I wanted to let the board know and members know that Safe Greater Deuces Beach is planning a summit meeting on January 27th, which is a Saturday, from 1 to 4 p.m. It's only 3 hours. It's at the Hyannis Conference Center over by the West End Rotary. And what this will be all about, the efforts by citizens groups up and down the eastern seaboard. Apparently, people are really interested in participating. Folks who are opposing the way that offshore wind is being planned and executed in our country. Everyone from the group opposing even the construction of the turbines in an area that is critical to the right whale, to folks who are concerned about the impact on Nantucket Sound. Our group, the group over in Centerville, Barnstable Speaks, the folks in Falmouth, Green Oceans is coming, Ed Lambert is coming. So I want to personally invite all of you to consider being there. I think it's going to be an incredibly interesting day. I heard today from someone that Jim Rowdy up in Boston was talking trash about us, our group, and those who oppose cable landings. And it made me laugh, because I was thinking, well, if Jim Rowdy's kvetching about us, the word's out. So that's a good thing. But I also realized that people just don't understand or accept the fact that we are very, very worried about the safety, human health and safety, the impact on the environment, the impact on wildlife, and especially the most critical concern of all is the impact on the sole source aquifer. And I'm getting very, very acquainted with the Environmental Protection Agency's policies regarding what they call SSAs, not the Steamship Authority, but sole source aquifers. And the protections that the federal government insists upon for the various regions around the country that are designated as sole source aquifers. Cape Cod is one of them. We only have one source of drinking water, so that makes our peninsula very, very special to the feds, along with some other areas around the country. And no one's brought this up yet when it comes to the plans by this company to land all these cables on our public beaches and then run them for what they want to be over 20 miles underground through our residential neighborhoods and up to new substations. And Pete is very well versed in the dangers that poses to the sole source aquifer. And I'm starting to think that we can try to leverage the authority of the federal government against some of these plans, as well as make our arguments about the fact that this is Article 97 protected land, which we will do with the town council, of course. And we're very pleased that we feel the town council, at least this town council, has listened to us and already. So anyway, I really want to make sure you know that you are more than welcome to come to, we're calling it the Close to the Wind Summit. Those of you who are sailors know that it's exhilarating to be close to the wind, but it's also very dangerous. You could end up with luft sails very quickly and in big trouble very quickly sailing too close to the wind. We're close to the wind because we stick out into the middle of the earth, but that's no reason for them to want to jeopardize our safety, our health, our well-being, and this entire peninsula, frankly, when it comes to our drinking water. So please, if you're so inclined, please mark your calendars for January 27th in the afternoon. We'd love to see as many of you there as possible. Thank you.
thank you.
Yep.
That's gonna be publicized too, correct? I mean,
Oh, yes. Mr. Lambert talks about it pretty regularly. We are putting it up. We have over 1,200 people on the Safe Greater Deuces Beach Facebook page now. And when I posted the e-poster about this conference, there were 12 shares, which means it's all over the place. So, social media is the key lately, in terms of getting the word out. So between the 10,000 people who listen to Ed Lambert every morning and our social media efforts, I think the word will be out pretty well. We have room for about 250 people, so I don't know if we'll get close to that. I hope we do, because the more the merrier. And I just want to make sure that people start learning about why we are opposing the way this is being planned. That's our goal, is to really educate folks and to bring others in who are having the same fight. I know that, for example, there's a village, I don't know how similar to Osterville. It's called Sandbridge down in, is New Jersey? Virginia, I'm sorry, Virginia. We have a few of these beach communities that have fought back, but in Virginia, Sandbridge, they got their town council to hold up the stop sign and say, no, you're not coming on this beach, which is very similar to the Delta's Beach area. So, they're going to zoom in for us. So I think it should be an interesting afternoon, and we'll hear, we want the folks in power at the federal and state levels to hear what we've been saying, instead of just, just poo-pooing us or not listening to us. I'm going to a conference next Thursday morning in Boston. The Secretary of Energy and Environmental Affairs plans to talk about, and, Avangrid will be there, the other wind companies will be there. I'm sorry? Oh, ELM, the Environmental League of Massachusetts, but she wants to talk about the economic challenges to the wind industry. And it just, I will promise not to talk there, I'm just there to listen, but it occurs to me that even, the secretary has little regard for the fact that there is community opposition to the way these things are being planned, and real worries about the impact this could have on our environment. I just posted something yesterday, and I learned this reading the tentative decision on Park City Wind, which is going to come out approving the Park City Wind project very soon. They plan to use over 20,000 pounds of sulfur hexafluoride, which is a greenhouse gas 25,000 times more damaging to the environment than CO2. And, as I posted on Facebook, and these are the people who are claiming they're going to save our planet. So we need to think about all this, never mind all the 100,000 gallons of dielectric fluid that they plan to put right on top of the wellhead protection areas in West Barnstable. So this, I don't do this because I'm a NIMBYist or, just I like to complain and want my beach to myself. That's not it. This is not a good plan in my mind. And I think in the minds of hundreds of Barnstable residents, and certainly in the minds of Osterville residents. So anyway, done with my speech, but thank you, and I hope you consider attending the conference.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyone else for public comment?
Bill?